For me, it's about the general spirit that you're hearing and the feeling of it. I think when I listen to a band and it really evokes that that kind of feeling that you just want to kind of immerse yourself in it, that's what that means to me. And I can hear that within a second. And whether I'm looking for bands to work with or whether that's what I'm listening to personally, I'm looking for a connection there inside that I can really connect with. We were influenced, and I was certainly influenced by the music around me, and I feel very privileged to have come from a time where there was the evolution of thrash metal and death metal and black metal and punk and hardcore. So being inspired by all of that influence around me, that's really what you kind of like is soaking in and coming out. So there wasn't an actual a kind of like a focus on making it as heavy as possible. It was more, again, without sounding too deep, taking those influences and just, naturally coming out what was in you. For me, music has always been about spirituality to an extent. And certainly when it comes to writing music, I think people take different approaches. You can take a much more formulated approach to music. But for me personally, it was always about trying to get into that inner space and trying to get into, kind of letting it, the flow, and it's something that I think, say, as a jazz musician, they get into that kind of like that space where they're all interconnected with each other and where they let it really flow out. And I think that's probably the closest thing that I could give as an example. I'm a fan of the music that I work with. I'm fortunate that my ears work in a certain way, and I've kind of, picked up on stuff that's been very successful. I've been fortunate enough to be working with bands that have had a lot of success. But I think, again, it's the community aspect. You hear some music and as a fan yourself that because you understand that community, there's probably a very good chance that if it's triggering something within you and you're like, this is fucking great, then there's a very good chance that other people feel the same way. And from a business perspective, there's a synergy between what I'm involved with. And it's very unique in the terms of if a band is worth 500 tickets or 1,000 tickets in London, there's a very good chance they're going to be worth the same tickets in Tokyo, the same tickets in New York, the same tickets in Germany, somewhere in Germany, because of that community. Because a metal fan or a fan of heavier music, there's a universal connection there. I've got colleagues that work with various other types of music that might be very territorial in terms of it might be very UK-centric or very German-centric or whatever. But it's much more widespread in the metal community because it is a community. And that's something that I understand as a fan. So from a business perspective, if you can understand that, you're kind of one step further in understanding the scene and the music that we love so much.